Make a Path presents Let's Talk. The new Walking Dead Returns promo for 5B. Let's talk. Alright, Deadheads, I don't normally, or I wouldn't normally do a video on this topic because there is nothing to break down. At least I don't believe so. But I figured this video would just be a couple minutes. I could put it together real quick and get it up there. Now, the first thing I do want to touch on is, no, I do not believe this is from the actual show. Actually, I can guarantee this is not from the show. And this is the same thing I said in the first half of The Walking Dead when they came out with the promos where we saw Rick in what looked like Terminus, and it was the slow motion, it was dramatic. Daryl and Carol and Glenn and Maggie. And those are promos. Usually, I believe we were only getting promo images. And they do this with TV and movies all the time, where they take promo images that have nothing to do with the movie. It's just a visual for us to entice us to see it. Lately, AMC has been taking a more cinematic approach to doing the promos where we get a video. And I want to let you know that we don't have to bang our heads against the wall to try to make sense out of this promo. I, for one, absolutely loved it. I love the slow-mo. I love the fog. I love the feel of it. I love the narrative that Rick Grimes is given during all the action that's happening. But it was actually interesting because I thought they would have done, or I was expecting them to do something that hinted towards Alexandria. But to my surprise, they seem to be keeping it under wraps, and I love that. If they come out from this point on and do a reveal before we actually see it, I'm going to be highly disappointed. Now, I know you guys are saying, but Hayes, you know it's coming up, it's going to happen, you know it. That's not the point. The point is to hold in that surprise and shock for the millions of fans who don't know it's coming. Because even comic book readers, we're still unsure, you know, they can change it all around. We don't even know if it's going to be called the Alexandria Safe Zone. But what I do want to say also is there's a lot of worry that some characters, they can't be seen in this promo. Two comments I saw were Grady Hospital took Noah back, that's why he's not in the promo. I didn't see him and I didn't see Carl either. Carl, he's a kid, maybe he wasn't working that day, they did that. Doesn't mean he's dead and it doesn't mean that he's in Grady. A couple interesting things real quick though is I noticed that Daryl doesn't have his crossbow yet. Well, he has his crossbow, but he's firing a gun. Everyone's firing guns. That's awesome. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be fighting a human factor. They could just be shooting walkers. I mean, they could be heading somewhere. And you could break this down just based on the visual symbolism, like the fog, the unknown factor. They're heading into the unknown. I love that imagery. I absolutely love it. And another thing we had, Tyrese was the only one that I saw that was not in an aggressive state. Carol had a knife, Glenn had a knife and a gun, was shooting the gun. Daryl had his crossbow, he was also shooting a shotgun, I believe. Rick was shooting a gun, but you get what I'm saying. Rosita had her gun out. They showed Eugene's face, but we know he's not going to have a gun. Tyrese seemed like he was running. A lot of people out there, myself included, are predicting that Tyrese will die coming up soon in the second half of The Walking Dead. Is he running for his life, symbolically, in this promo? And then they see Sasha, and she looked shocked. Everyone else looked like they were on a mission. They had that focused look on their face. Sasha had a more of a shocked, what's happening in front of me look. You know what I mean? Like her brother dying, for example. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's what I got at first glance at this trailer. And again, they could have filmed this promo when they were filming a scene in the woods with the fog, so we could see something similar to this atmosphere in the actual TV show. But me, I believe that this is strictly a promo, and we might see some of the same atmosphere in the TV show, but not necessarily these exact scenes. We will not. This is not like them fighting walkers in a foggy woods, you know what I mean? I think it was just symbolism, a promo full of symbolism. If they were going to hint Alexandria and keep it hidden, I'm actually shocked that since they had the fog effect, you have everyone here, and when they look towards the fog, you see the silhouette of a single lone survivor, but we can't see their face, we can't see if it's a man or a woman, but we know there's a person there. I thought that would have been so awesome to add at the ending there, because a lot of us fans who are predicting that Aaron meeting up with them in Alexandria, we would have just exploded. Our heads would have blown up. We would have been like, oh shit. I mean, or something. Then again, you know, now I'm bordering contradiction because I want them to keep it a secret, yet I want them to give us like just a little taste, you know? So, but if I could pick anything, I would have picked the image of another person, but then again, it would have contradicted the point of the trailer. And the trailer was surviving together together is all that matters. I believe that's basically the whole concentration of everything that the Rick Grimes character was saying during the narrative. That's what I got, that it was surviving together. I think that's even the title of the promo. But surviving together is all that matters. Alright, Deadheads, like I said, there is no breakdown. I do not believe you can break this video down unless you wanted to break it down based on, you know, symbolism and the imagery in this promo, because I do believe this is just a promo. This is just incentive to keep our excitement at an all-time high and our interest in the show, so we are there day one watching it, and I know I will be. I actually would love to hear what you guys have to say on this promo, because this is different than what we have gotten a lot from The Walking Dead. I believe this is the very first season where we're getting promos that aren't actually real scenes from the TV show. So please let me know what you thought of this new promo down in the comments below. Because I'm done talking, it's your turn. Subscribe now. Hey you guys. What are you looking at?